Yo guys, welcome back to the Driven Mindset. And right now I'm at Firestone. I told you guys in the last video I was gonna take my car to get the oil change because the maintenance light came on. And this prompt this video, right? Why do people scared to get used cars, especially cars with high mileage? And the truth is, it comes down to previous ownership scared, right? I had a situation where I bought a Lexus, well, the Lexus I have now, and the engine went out on me, not even 2 weeks of ownership. But the good news is I was able to find a low miles engine from Japan, import it, and install it in the Lexus that I have now. And ever since I did that, all I've been doing in the last 2 years is oil change, because I replaced everything while the engine was out. So, the majority of the major components was already replaced. But anyway, guys, back to, owning, used cars and why people might be scared of, buying used cars, especially on Facebook Marketplace and things like that. And the truth is, it comes down to just previous maintenance. You could run into some bad deals, even cars that would have a history of, liability. Like, let's be honest, you could probably buy yourself a used Corolla like what I got. I have maybe 100,000 miles on it. It looked good. It sounds good. Drive it home, and 2 days later, the engine go out, and that's the truth. And let's be honest, if you're buying cars like that, it's because you don't want to spend that much money, for owning a vehicle. So now, let's say you bought, the Corolla for $5,000. You probably spend, the majority of your money. Now you take the car home and the car crapped out on you, and let's say, for argument's sake, you need a new engine. So now you just spend $5,000 on a car that can't drive after 2 days. And I understand that happened to me, and it could happen to anybody, right? But you also have to realize that's the part of the gamble of buying used cars. And that's why I always like to say, if you're going to buy a used car, try to buy it the moment it finish its factory warranty. So basically, like bumper to bumper are normally 36,000 or 40,000, depends on the brand. Within the first 3 years, I think that would be the sweet time to buy used cars, unless you know how to work on them yourself. If you know how to work on them and you're kind of mechanically inclined and you kind of have some tools and you know how to change radiator, water pump, and you know how to do all that, you know how to take out the spark plug, change the spark plug, then you can buy whatever car you want. But for the people out there who just can't do that, don't have the tools or even the knowledge, my bad, you guys. That's the Metro Rail. Just let y'all know, I'm at Dayland in Miami in Kendall. Just let y'all know. So anyway, so a lot of people don't know how to work on their cars, right? And I know that's scared for you for buying a used car, but I like to say, try to get a car within the first 3 to 4 years. So, it's 2025, so I will buy 2022, 2021. And the reason why I would do that, because most of those cars, the first couple of years, the dealership is working on it. It's very rare you will buy a used car, with 3 to 4 years that don't have the majority of its lifespan at a dealership, right? It's normally when the car is out of warranty, people start working on the car themselves, or go to a personal mechanic or a rink-a-dink mechanic, or just try to fix it themselves. But within the first 3 to 4 years, normally a car will be going to a dealership, a professional technician working on the cars, keeping up with the factory required warranty. Because remember, when you have these cars, to keep the factory warranty, you have to do maintenance on schedule. So if you're buying yourself a 2022, 2021 car, I'm very confident that most of those maintenance was done on time. So that would be the perfect time to buy a used car. And guess what? It's also 50-40% depreciation. So now you're buying a $30,000 car probably for 21,000. Now you're saving $10,000. You get yourself a fairly maintenance car, probably just barely ran out of factory warranty. And remember, bumper to bumper and powertrain warranty is two different things. So the car might be out of the bumper to bumper warranty, but you do have drivetrain warranty. Like when I bought my Mercedes, the bumper to bumper was already gone, but it still had powertrain warranty for like 20 more thousand miles. So guess what? For the next 20,000 miles, if anything was wrong with the engine or transmission, the dealership will work on it. And I feel like that's the perfect time for you to buy a used car, and don't be scared of maintenance. Now, for all the rest of the guys out there, rest of the gals that don't want a 3-4-year-old car, they want something even older. They want something like my Corolla, which is more than 10 years old. Now, the good news is you're buying a car way on the depreciation. Now, it comes with a lot more mileage, of course, but now you're not spending 13, 14,000. You're spending 4 to 5, 6,000. Now, the best thing to do when you're buying these type of used cars, there go another train again. The best thing to do when you're buying used cars like this is to always try to have a mechanic to go with you. There's a lot of technicians that you could literally pay off the books to go with you. Like I used to do that. Like I used to have a mechanic back in the days that used to work on my car. He used to work for, like a Firestone. And what I did was I said, hey, is there any way I could pay you to come look at a car for me? And guess what he did? He did. And all I did, I shot him $100, right? $100 investment. He went to go look at the car. He did his little checks, brought his little computer scanner, did everything. And guess what? The car was good to go. I bought the car and I had that car for almost 7 years. But I spent $100 investment to have a professional look at it. Now, if you're buying a car and the person you're buying the car with have no problem you bring it to a shop to get a look at, then that's money invested that's well spent, because you probably dodging a headache by spending $120 to have this car 300-point inspection. Yeah, you lost $120, but guess what? They could probably find something that was probably wrong with the car that probably going to cost you thousands of dollars, right? So you don't want that. So it's okay to spend a little money, get the investment, just to have a professional look at the car. And I would recommend anyone that's not car friendly, mechanically inclined, to get a professional or the person that that have the most car knowledge as possible to go with you when buying a car, especially a car over 10 years old. Definitely have some type of professional look at that, because you could probably save yourself thousands of dollars and headache. Okay, thousands of dollars in headache when you're buying a used car like this. But is it possible that things could go wrong? Yes, but you have a higher chance to save money and to have yourself a good deal if you find a good, reliable source for information before you buy that car. Mostly when people are selling their car and they have no problem with you taking the car to the shop, normally those are good cars that have nothing to hide. When you tell them, hey, can I bring a mechanic friend to look at the car, and they tell you sure, 90% of the time they have nothing to hide. So you could trust, not saying that automatically buy the car, but they have nothing to hide, guys. So take your mechanic friend. If you got to pay him $100 right quick, pay him $100. You got to invest at some point, and then now you could get yourself a nice little beater, nice little 100,000-mile car that could probably last you another 5-6 years. And when you get that car, guys, listen, when you get these cars over 10 years old, the best thing to do, which a lot of people don't do, you have to invest in the maintenance, guys. Listen, when you take it to these shops like this and you do a 300-point inspection, or you bring it to your mechanic friends or whoever working on your cars, whatever they're telling you that need to be replaced, you need to replace them. Okay, that's the problem in the first place. A lot of people don't maintenance their car on schedule. Okay, that car in the air, right, have almost 250,000 miles, and the reason why I got that much miles on it, because I don't delay maintenance. You know, my oil light came on yesterday, in yesterday's video, and not even 30 miles later, it's getting an oil change, guys. I'm not gonna run my car an extra 300, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles after the oil change light come on. That's how you stop messing up your cars. Invest into your car maintenance, okay? One of the good things, especially if you don't have a car payment, you need to put money away. Okay, you need to put money away for maintenance, man. You got to put money away for maintenance. This oil change today is $82, I think, $82, high mileage, full Cemex oil, but $82, that's it. That's all I spend on it. And it's gonna need new tires soon, so I'm gonna put 4 new tires, and I might finally replace the tire sensor. So they told me it's $200 a wheel, but there's a good chance it's not all the wheels. But because the car is already more than 10 years old, the guy said there's a good chance you might have to replace all 4 of them, because at some point the battery is gonna die in all of them. So the best thing to do, if you're gonna replace one over 10 years, replace it all. This car is already 13 years old, so they're recommending just replace all 4 tire sensors. The only suck thing is that $800. Does the car need the tire sensor? No, but I'm tired of looking at the light, and I'm tired of you guys kicking me in the comments about it. But it's $800. I could invest that in something else, but I'm just being cheap. Okay, so I'm sitting here telling you about maintenance, and I won't spend $200 to fix a light, the tire light in my car, the tire maintenance. And it is what it is, guys. You got to pick and choose a battle. I'm not perfect, goddammit. I'm not perfect, but there's a good chance when I do come back to get all 4 tires replaced, I'm probably going to replace all the sensors. So the light's going to be on, the sensor light, okay, for my tires still going to be on for a couple more videos. And hopefully you guys learned something in this videos. Thank you guys for keep watching it, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.